Is Ron's release of a private film of Jim Jones generating social media pandemonium? Or did he just light the internet on fire? Fans, celebrities, and insiders are among the millions of individuals who now see what was once a private moment. The hip-hop community has been rocked by the horrifying video, which depicts Jim in a very intimate and precarious scenario. Many people are left wondering why Camron would do such a thing. Jim Jones is compelled to contain the damage as the video goes viral in an effort to protect his reputation and give his version of events. But this is about betrayal, not simply the video. Camron has gone too far, according to Chrissy, Lampkin's spouse, who is enraged and ready to strike back. Is there something more going on here? Or was this leap really an attempt to ruin Jim? The stakes are bigger than ever, and tensions are high. This drama is just beginning, so stay tuned for all the exciting details. The video went viral as soon as it was leaked, leaving viewers in disbelief. Social media and the whole hip-hop scene was talking about it in a matter of hours. Although Camron had a reputation for acting erratically, nobody could have predicted this. Even worse, Jim Jones, who had previously been regarded as one of the game's most respected personalities, was now at the center of an unanticipated scandal. The actual film was shocking and remarkably realistic. It showed Jim acting totally out of character, causing viewers to question whether this was an accident or whether Camron had set him up. Celebrities and fans alike reacted on social media. As the video began to go viral, others used the opportunity to point out that Jim had always kept his personal life pretty private. Suddenly, it was all out for the world to see, while others were startled and dissatisfied. There was no denying that this leak had far-reaching effects, and none was immune to the consequences. As the video went viral, Jim's longtime partner, Chrissy Lampkin, wasn't staying quiet. It's the drama star, who is well known for her feisty demeanor and deep affection for Jim. Chrissy was incensed and vented her emotions on Instagram. "How dare you betray us like this? There's no coming back from this, Camron. You crossed the line." Her post simply fueled the flames, as followers swiftly crowded the comments section with thoughts that either questioned, quote, Chrissy's role in the matter or praised her. Some even went so far as to imply that Chrissy might have been hiding secrets from Camron and that she might have known more than she was admitting. Sayings like this isn't what it looks like, and don't believe everything you see. Nevertheless, it was clear that the harm had already been done. The film had left its imprint, and damage control couldn't undo it. Sources close to Jim claim that he was furious in private and that Camron's actions completely caught him off guard. After years of friendship, Jim never thought Camron would turn on him like this. Tension between them had always been rumored, but no one had ever expected that it would get this bad. While June struggled to figure out how to handle the situation, the hip-hop community was ablaze with speculations that Camron had been harboring a grudge for a while and that this video leak was his way of finally taking control of the story. Fans felt it was a personal betrayal that could have long-term consequences for their relationship and professions, while others saw it as a publicity trick designed to heighten tension and drama for both Camron and Jim. When it was discovered that Camron had shared the enigmatic phrase, "The truth always comes out," on his personal Instagram, the narrative became more complex. The video continued to make headlines, and as it gained more attention, the pressure on Jim and Camron only increased. Even though he didn't explicitly say that he was behind the leak, it was clear that he was hinting at his involvement. Many of his fans expressed their shock and disappointment in the post, while others defended Camron, arguing that there might be more to the story than what was being revealed. The leak wasn't just a viral moment. It was becoming a full-blown crisis, and Jim wasn't just dealing with public embarrassment. Chrissy wasn't going to back down in the face of potential fallout that could have a big impact on his career, relationship, and legacy in the hip-hop world. In a series of heated posts, she made it clear that she wasn't going to let this go unanswered and demanded answers from Camron, asking him to explain why he had chosen to betray Jim in this way. As the days passed, the pressure on Camron grew. as more and more people started to wonder why he had leaked the video. Or was there something else going on behind the scenes? As the drama unfolded in real time, fans were caught in the middle of a fierce battle between two hip-hop legends. And everyone had opinions on the fans eagerly awaited the next twist in the story, either to see how this drama would unfold as the days passed, or some were supporting Jim, insisting that he didn't deserve this kind of treatment, while others were quick to call out his past behavior, questioning whether he was truly as innocent as he appeared. As the scandal grew, it became clear that this was only the beginning of a much larger story. What would happen next? Would Jim and Camron's friendship survive this betrayal? Or was this the end of an era for the two hip-hop icons? Camron, the master of stirring up controversy, teased fans with bits of information in a series of cryptic tweets and Instagram posts that only served to fan the flames. In one post, he included a picture of himself in a contemplative pose, and in another, he said, "You can't trust everyone who smiles in your face." Fans were left wondering if Camron was referring to Jim or someone else entirely. And the media went crazy, scrutinizing every word and emoji to figure out who Camron was actually targeting. Jim Jones was doing his best to maintain his composure, in public, giving a few interviews in which he attempted to downplay the incident, claiming that the footage was a complete misunderstanding. Fans weren't convinced, so many took to social media to vent their disappointment in him, especially after hearing Chrissy's explosive reactions. Chrissy, already heartbroken and frustrated by the entire situation, decided to take things up a notch after Camron's posts. "Do you find this amusing? Do you think it's a joke to expose my boyfriend in this way?" She went from being just Jim's partner to a fierce protector who was willing to fight for their relationship at any cost. Her words struck a chord with her followers, and her emotions were raw. She asked her fans in a live Instagram video, her face clearly showing anger. The live video quickly gained traction as it showed that she wasn't going to let Camron off the hook without a response. She fumed, "Camron has always been shady, but this is betrayal in that moment." The internet was divided, with some criticizing Camron for publicly humiliating Jim, whom they felt had done nothing wrong, and others calling him a genius for creating drama. Hip-hop insiders also shared their thoughts on the matter, with some speculating that Camron might have been trying to ruin Jim's career out of jealousy. Pointing out that Jim had been making one of the most shocking turns of events was when a source close to Camron revealed that he might have had inside information about Jim's private life that he used to his advantage. It was said that Camron had been keeping a closer eye on Jim's personal activities than anyone realized, including details about his relationship with Chrissy. For years, there had been rumors of tension between Camron and Jim, whether it was a fallout over his music business or something personal. Although it was clear that things had been tense between them for a while, some speculated that it could be a personal grudge that had been simmering behind the scenes for a while, suggested that Camron had used the leaked footage to send a message to everyone who had ever questioned his place in the hip-hop world. Not just Jim, others believed it was a power play to put Camron back in the spotlight because, after all, he had always been known for his bold statements and unpredictable moves. Jim remained relatively quiet about the matter, only speaking out occasionally, and it was not easy to read his true feelings. But it was evident that he was struggling with the fallout from the leak. Then came the bombshell, a second video. Although it wasn't as revealing as the first, the new footage gave more context for the situation. In the clip, Jim was seen arguing with an unnamed person in a private setting, and it appeared to be a heated exchange. While some fans believed this second video was evidence that more was going on behind the scenes, others believed it was Camron's deliberate attempt to keep the drama going. In contrast, Camron was enjoying the drama. His social media presence was at an all-time high, and the media coverage of the leak kept his name trending for days. Fans were constantly on edge, anticipating his next move, and some even seemed to wonder if the video leak had exposed rifts in their relationship, which only increased the tension. Camron wasn't just playing the game, he was controlling it. The question on everyone's mind was straightforward. What did Camron want from this? Was he looking for revenge? Or was it just another? Fans were eagerly watching to see how Jim, Chrissy, and Camron would handle this risky game of loyalty, betrayal, and power. Who would win? And more importantly, would any of them escape unscathed? As the tension increased, fans wondered if this was the beginning of the end for Jim Jones and Camron's relationship. Only time would tell as the saga went on. But one thing was certain. The leak had sparked something much bigger than a simple scandal, exposing the complex and sometimes strained relationships that existed behind the scenes in the hip-hop industry. According to sources close to Camron, the rapper had been harboring resentment toward Jim for years, citing disagreements over business deals, personal matters, and even music. The leak had sparked a firestorm, and it was unclear if the two would be able to mend the damage. The two men had spent years together building their careers and making their mark on the hip-hop scene. But now it seemed like everything was falling apart at an alarming rate. Behind the scenes, rumors of problems began to surface, shake things up and remind everyone who was in charge by leaking the video he had done. However, it appeared that nothing could stop him from getting back on track, because the leaked footage had tarnished his once perfect public image. And the scandal had caused cracks to appear in his relationship with Chrissy, who had always been portrayed as one of hip-hop's most stable couples. But the drama surrounding the video had made fans question whether their bond was as strong as it seemed. Chrissy, who was always fiercely protective of Jim and had made it clear that she wouldn't let anyone ruin them. "I never thought Camron would go this far," Jim stated in an emotive voice. "We've been through so much together." Jim started to discuss the subject more in an open interview as the weeks went by, acknowledging that the consequences had damaged him. "For years, we have been brothers. This is how it feels." During a live interview, Crazy took a daring move of her own and was questioned about the video and her opinions on Camron's behavior. "He went too far." Carrie's response was, to put it mildly, direct. Many of Chrissy's admirers who had long respected his commitment and tenacity found resonance in his remarks. They sympathized with him as they experienced his anguish and fury, but many questions still remained. These included the reasons for Camron's initial decision to expose the footage, and the consequences. While many fans were in favor of Jim and Chrissy, some believed that Camron had exposed a more serious issue that required attention. And some fans questioned whether the video release was proof that Jim had been concealing something all along. The media was rocked by Chrissy's declaration that she would not tolerate this controversy. But she wasn't just standing up for Jim. She was standing up for their bond, their family supporters, and their reputation. Despite all of the commotion, Camron remained secretive, only occasionally appearing on social media, writing cryptic messages, and gently making fun of Jim. Additionally, he alluded to the potential for even more startling disclosures. This is only the start. Fans were left wondering what Camron meant when he tweeted, "Was there additional video? Were there any other mysteries to come to light?" As Camron acted the part, the tension only grew. To put it plainly, there was no apparent end in sight to the argument. Things took a surprising turn when people close to Camron disclosed that the leak may have been a part of a bigger scheme. Some conjectured that Camron had been purposefully attempting to incite Jim in order to produce a media spectacle, while others proposed that it was a determined attempt to take charge of the story and make Jim defensive. Ron had transformed this drama into a full-fledged spectacle, and the audience was consuming it regardless of the real reasons behind it. Despite the public outcry, Jim was adopting a more measured stance, remained dedicated to his business ventures and singing career, but there were signs that the drama was having a greater impact on him than he had revealed. Jim reportedly sought counsel from friends and family on how to deal with the matter. In private, he was aware that he needed to find a way to put the issue behind him. But he also realized that it wouldn't be easy because relationships had been strained and trust had been betrayed. The video leak had just acted as the impetus for what was sure to be a long-running fight. Thus, the story was far from over. The world was keeping a careful eye on the drama involving Camron and Jim Jones. And the two former friends' ongoing conflict seemed to be getting worse every day. Now fans were split, with some supporting Camron and others Jim, each group fiercely defending their favorite celebrity. They were glued to their seats, anticipating the next twist in this epic tale. Would Jim's career come to an end as a result of the leak, or would he be able to restore his position in the spotlight? Despite their best efforts to reconcile, it appeared that the gap between the two hip-hop icons had only grown. Camron became more frequent in his taunting social media remarks, which stoked the controversy and continued it. While Jim's allies came together in the hopes that a solution would be found, his followers clung to everything he said. Chrissy, in the meantime, had begun to act independently, although she had always been extremely discreet about her personal life. She was unable to remain silent following the video breach and began posting cryptic messages on social media that alluded to the betrayal she occasionally felt from those closest to her. Can cause you the greatest harm. She made it clear in several interviews that she would not let anyone drag Jim through the mud without a fight. We built something beautiful, and I'm not going to let anyone destroy it. Her words were calm but full of conviction, and they only served to fuel the flames of the escalating drama. One of her posts read, "Sending a clear message to Camron and anyone who might be watching." When Camron used Instagram Live to directly address the controversy, the public spectacle appeared to reach new heights. "Come on now," he remarked, sarcasm evident in his voice. He hinted at even more bombshell revelations that he was keeping for later when he said, "If you really knew what was going on behind the scenes, you'd understand why I did what I did." He declared, "This is just the beginning. Trust me, there's a lot more to come." Millions of followers watched the video, which instantly went viral. His tone was sharp but humorous, and he glanced into the camera with a wicked smile. It was becoming more difficult to ignore the growing media uproar, and Jim and Chrissy were eagerly awaiting what would happen next. They were aware that the strain was mounting and that progress was becoming more challenging with each new development. Although Jim had always been recognized for his strength, this time was different. He was battling for his reputation as well as his relationship with Chrissy. More than just exposing a private moment, the stolen video had ruined their sense of security, and as more people became involved, the couple started to question whether their bonds with Camron were as solid as they had been. The scenario took even another unexpected turn when Jim and Chrissy were spotted together at a high-profile function. Although the pair had been keeping a low profile, they made it very evident to the world that they would not allow the drama to destroy their relationship by attending the event. The tension behind the scenes was hidden by their grins as they posed for photos. But the situation was far from over. According to reports, Jim had contacted Camron multiple times to try to have a private talk and get things straightened out. But Camron consistently disregarded his calls, leaving Jim feeling helpless and unhappy. A close buddy was informed by Jim that he's playing games now, which surprised him. In the midst of all the chaos, he continued to release music and make public jabs at Jim, often referencing the video leak in his lyrics, such as "real, recognize real. But I guess I'm the only one left standing." The controversy seemed to be sparking his creativity as his music was suddenly receiving more attention than ever before, with some fans even claiming that the video leak had revitalized his career, giving him a fresh edge that he had been lacking in recent years. Despite the tensions, fans occasionally hoped for a reconciliation, whether that was true or not. One thing was certain: Camron was thriving in the spotlight, while Jim Jones was left struggling to pick up the pieces of his shattered reputation. Previously, Jim Jones and Camron had been brothers, bound by their shared experiences and love of music, but now it seemed like all of that was slipping away. Their feud had turned personal and the damage had already been done. The back and forth continued for weeks, with each side throwing punches both literally and figuratively. "It's sad to see it end like this," she said, expressing her hope that the two guys will get back together. The two men have been through a lot together, but as time went on and it became less likely that they would get back together, Camron demonstrated that he was not going to back down, and Jim vowed to never forget the betrayal. The drama seemed unstoppable, leaving the fans in suspense, wondering what would happen next. And the future of their relationship remained uncertain, that no one had ever seen before. And in doing so, he had created a rift that might never heal. As the two men worked through their broken friendship, it became increasingly clear that the video leak had changed everything forever. The drama between Camron and Jim Jones has shown that this feud is far from over. Will the two ever get back together? Or is this the end of their once famous partnership? What about Chrissy? Will she take matters into her own hands? Or will she support Jim as the tension rises? These are the questions that the fans are asking themselves. Are on edge waiting for the next bombshell? And we want to know what you think. Do you think Camron was justified in revealing the truth? Or did he go too far by leaking Jim Jones' private video? Let us know in the comments below, and if you're enjoying the drama. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the latest updates. We'll be back soon with more explosive stories that you won't want to miss. After her heartfelt post, the public's opinion of Rashida changed. Some fans felt sorry for her, while others chastised her for Rashida felt that it was unfair to her. Children and Kirk to keep sharing their struggles with the world, so she shared too much of their private lives. However, she didn't care what other people thought and concentrated on her recovery, which had become more difficult as the strain increased. Kirk, on the other hand, had to face the truth. He had never anticipated the length and complexity of his path to atonement. It seemed like he was taking 2 steps back for every step forward. He was fighting his addiction and his inner demons, but he knew that his marriage was at stake. And in addition to his own rehabilitation, Rashida was growing impatient despite his best efforts. Rashida went through a range of emotions in the months that followed Kirk's ongoing struggles. The silence between them seemed to grow louder every day, despite Kirk's obvious dedication to getting better. The Frost family had to endure the most trying time of their lives while the public watched the emotional toll rise with every new headline. The future was uncertain. Would Kirk eventually find his way back to Rashida, or would their relationship continue to suffer as a result of betrayal, addiction, and celebrity? Only time would tell. Even though Kirk's addiction was tearing them apart, Rashida now found herself questioning her strength and whether she could continue to support him while secretly grieving for the future they had once imagined. Her heart wanted to see Kirk recover, but her head couldn't deny the harm Kirk's actions had caused. And during a period of reflection, Rashida found herself thinking about the unthinkable, leaving the man she had once known. Better, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were drifting farther apart every time she looked at him. She had always trusted the promises they made to each other in health and illness. But now that she realized how far apart they were, the weight of those words felt like a burden. Known as her soulmate, the idea felt awkward and foreign, for better or worse. Kirk was in his recovery and had started going to a new, more rigorous rehabilitation program that focused on holistic treatment. He was struggling to put his addiction and the broken pieces of his life back together, but he couldn't help but wonder if it was too late. Had Rashida gone too far already? If he would ever be able to, but the truth was more nuanced. Following a tense encounter, Rashida once made a mysterious Instagram statement that stunned their fan base. And paying her for the pain he had caused her kept him up at night, wondering if their love was strong enough to withstand the storm they had gone through. The media, always looking for drama, continued to feed the flames, with some saying that Kirk had relapsed yet again, and others that Rashida had already moved on and started dating someone else. Healing is a journey, not a destination. Sometimes, The hardest part is knowing when to let go. Rashida's marriage was in doubt. Supporters showered her with comments expressing both concern and encouragement more than ever before. People asked her how her marriage was doing, whether it was ending, or if it was something Rashida was thinking about. In the days that followed, she stayed silent and avoided interviews and public appearances. Her silence was telling. She seemed to be absorbing everything in secret, away from the attention that had previously followed them everywhere. Since she had always been a strong, independent woman, and her admirers paid attention when she gave them sneak peeks at her upcoming ventures. On social media, Rashida put more effort into her business endeavors during this time in an attempt to regain control over her life. Kirk, who had always spoken up more, was now pushed to the sidelines despite his best efforts to support his family. And he felt alone because of his battle with addiction and the strain on his marriage, despite the support of his family and friends, Rashida was determined to continue working in the corporate world despite the difficulties in her personal life. But the question still remained. Would she stay with Kirk or leave the man she had once fully trusted? There was a tangible tension. Kirk was trying to be optimistic, but the uncertainty was too much for him to handle. He couldn't deny that Rashida's faith and love for him had been destroyed, and he knew that his actions had consequences. Meanwhile, the family was still split. Some members supported Kirk and gave him the help he needed to recover, while others were more critical and said it was time for him to face the consequences of his crimes. Everyone had an opinion, but Rashida was the only one who believed it. She was faced with the tough decision of whether to let go of the Frosts' future or to keep helping Kirk. In the final minutes of the novel, it is still unclear whether Rashida can forgive Kirk, since the damage has been irreversible. There is still a lot of stress, and it is obvious that this drama is far from over. If more behind-the-scenes operations take place, what do you anticipate will happen? Rashida, and kindly, let us know if Kirk made it through this storm, or if their romance is really over. Kindly leave your thoughts in the space provided below. And don't forget to like our page for more updates on this developing subject. And keep checking back for the most recent details on your favorite celebrities. Discover what occurs next in this exciting tale.